Hi, this is National Master Dan Heisman. We're here with another video to help improve your chess game. I haven't played a game against the mid-level engine for a while. When I play the games, it's almost all analysis. That's what good players do. They mostly analyze all the other stuff. The strategy is kind of goes through goes without saying almost, because you spend most of your time trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and so on. I thought I'd try to change it a little this time and maybe talk a little bit more about the planning side. So let's do that. Let's challenge a game here. It's going to be 45-45 because that's the only time I can play, but I'm going to have to play faster than that to get a video in half an hour. So my time management will seem a little fast for the time control. All right, let's get started on the game. I have no idea what color I'll be given. There we go. All right, now I have black against e4. Let's center the screen a little bit so you can see it. Make it smaller here. I'll get it right before I start. We'll get the screen going. All right, we got it on that side. Make it up on this side. A little bit smaller. Okay, so the engine has played e4. What should I play against it? Let's play a French and see what happens. e6, d4. The engine's okay with opening systems. I could trick it and try to play a different set of moves like bishop e7, but let's play a main line and see what happens. d5, knight c3, knight f6, e5, knight d7. This is all book. f4. All right, so I could delay c5 and see if I can take it out of his book a little bit. a6 is sometimes a move in these positions, so let's do that. a6. Queen to h5. That's an interesting move. Okay, is he threatening to play f5 here? Probably not. Let's just break the center with c5. See what happens. c5, knight takes d5, e takes d5, e6. What would I play on e6? c5, knight takes d5, e takes d5, e6. Knight f6, queen f7, mate. If I move the knight, he mates me. Wow, I probably can't play c5 here. Okay, well, that's interesting. I've never seen this line, but it looks like c5, knight takes d5. I could play c takes d4, threatening queen a5 check with complications. That's pretty interesting too. I guess I could just play g6 and drive the queen back, weakens my dark squares. It's not terrible. Never seen this position before. c5, knight takes d5, e takes d5, e6. I could play queen e7, pinning the pawn. And then when he plays f5, I can play, or bishop e3, I can play knight f6 next. I guess I can get away with that. All right, so let's play c5. All right, knight to e2. I'm going to keep the pressure up with knight c6. Keep the pressure on the d4 square. He takes. Okay. If I take and he plays knight takes d5, e takes d5, e6, I still can't play queen e7 anymore because he takes the knight with check because it's not pinned. But if I play bishop takes, knight takes d5, e takes d5, e6, can I play something else? I don't think I can. All right, so I might have to take the pawn with a knight, which isn't terrible. Probably want to take it with a bishop, but let's take it with a knight and see what happens. All right, so knight takes. Bishop e3, not really threatening to take it. Now I can just play bishop d7. And if he plays b4, I can play knight a5. Can I play d4 now? If I play d4, he plays castle queenside. That doesn't look good. I can play knight to b4. And if he plays castle queenside, I can play queen to a5. Not terrible. Probably better just to develop the bishop and play some chess that way. Can he play knight takes d5 again? No, because the bishop can take on e6 now. Can I take advantage of the queen being on that side of the board? Let's see. g6, queen f3. What's the point? I don't see a point. I'm stopping f5, but I don't think you can play f5 anyway. Bishop d7, f5, knight takes e5, f takes e6, hits the knight and hits the pawn. Interesting. Do I really want to play g6 here and throw his queen back to the middle? I really don't think I want to. Bishop d7, f5. I'm not too worried about that. All right, let's play bishop d7. And he plays g3. All right, we still have the same ideas on the queen side. I can play queen to a5, and if he plays a3, I can play knight e4. If he castles queenside, I can play knight b4. But then he could play king to b1. If I play knight b4 right away, he'll castle queenside. Queen a5, king to b1. Don't really see what that's getting me. My plan here is to develop my queen side. At some point, probably play g6 to drive the queen away. Don't really want to. I kind of like the queen where it is right now. I could play b5 and then play like queen to a5 and b4. I guess that's all right. Let's try that. Let's expand on the queen side with b5. All right. Rook d1. All right, if I play b4 now, can he play knight takes d5, e takes d5, e6? Or rook takes d5? I guess he could try to do that in some lines. Let's say I play knight b4 now. Knight to b4. He could play knight to d4, guarding the pawn. If I play queen to a5, I can play b4 first, followed by knight e4. b4, where's the knight going to go? The knight's going to go to b1. Then I have queen a4 threatening b3 check. He could play bishop d2, but I have queen takes a2. I guess that's okay. b4, knight takes d5, e takes d5, e6. Then bishop takes e6 is okay. All right, let's try it. b4. Knight b1 as expected. All right, I can play knight e4. I can play queen a5. If I play knight e4, what's the plan? We're looking for plans in this game. Knight e4. Not sure what the plan would be. Queen a5. I'm threatening a discovered attack. If he plays knight d2, I can play queen takes a2, followed by maybe queen takes b2. My queen's out of play, but it's not too bad. If he plays a3, I take it off check. That's no good for him. I think I'm winning at least the a2 pawn if I play queen a5. Let's try it. a3. All right, so I can take check, but then he plays bishop to d2. Then I can play knight b4, threatening knight c2 check. If he plays a takes b, I play knight takes c2 check. If he plays knight takes a3, guess he can do that. All right, so maybe I should play knight e4 first. And if he plays pawn takes pawn, I have queen takes pawn check, and then I can play queen takes b2 or something. Pawn takes on a3, bishop d2. If I play b takes a3, bishop d2, I have to save the queen. I guess I could play queen a4, hitting the c pawn, but then I like knight e4 better. Knight e4 seems to give him the most problems. It also gets my bishop into the game. I think let's do that. Let's play knight e4. c3. All right, so I'm winning at least the a3 pawn with pawn takes, pawn takes. Do I have something better? If I take on c3, it helps him develop the knight. He can take with either knight. Then I play bishop a3, knight a3, knight takes c3. Yeah, I might be winning a pawn that way, but it might be easier just to win the pawn on a3. Take the pawn on a3. If he plays b4, I can probably sack that pawn because I've got all kinds of threats. If he plays knight takes a3, then bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes a3, or knight takes knight takes c3, you can play bishop d2. So just queen takes a3, threatening knight takes c3. Looks pretty good. Then I have rook to b8 and stuff like that. I think that's the right idea. It's if b takes c3, either knight takes c3, knight takes c3, knight takes c3, bishop takes a3, that probably works too. But I don't see why I should be tricky to win the pawn when I could win the pawn more easily. All right, let's just take the pawn on a3. And it does play b4. Well, I could play a2 now, and if he takes the queen, I can get a queen. But I'd rather threaten that. So can I sacrifice on b4 and then do that? Knight takes b4, c takes b4, bishop takes b4 check. If he puts something in the way, if he puts the bishop on d2, I play a2. And if he then moves the knight, I can promote. So this is the whole game. So knight takes b4. If he plays knight takes a3, I have queen takes a3, c takes b4, bishop takes b4, check. That looks like a killer. Knight b4, c takes b4, bishop b4, check. Bishop d2, followed by a2. Threatening a1 queen. If bishop takes b4, queen takes b4 check. If he puts the knight in the way, knight takes b4, c takes b4, bishop takes b4 check, knight d2. Knight takes b4, c takes b4, bishop b4 check, knight d2. Then a2, then rook a1. Then knight takes d2, bishop takes bishop takes d2, bishop takes d2, queen takes d2 is mate. All right, I think that's working. Let's play knight takes b4. All right, I got to take with the bishop. There's no doubt about it. So let's take it, check. All right, and now we're going to try to get a queen. we're going to play a2. If he plays bishop d4, we take on d2. If he plays rook on a1, we take on d2, and otherwise we're threatening to get a queen. All right, let's do it. a2. He goes there. All right, well, now I can get another queen. Is it better to take first? Bishop takes, no. If I get a queen and he takes on e4, then I could either sack my queen for the rook and then play queen a1 check, which doesn't look right, or I can just save the queen, or I could take on e4, and if he takes on a1, I take on a1 check, and if he plays king f2, I have queen takes h1. Well, either way is good. I could also take on d2. Knight takes d2, bishop takes d2, bishop takes d2 check. He can't take, he has to play king to f2, but then he has both rooks guarding a1. Knight takes d2, bishop takes d2, a1 queen. But then the rook's on h1 is guarded by the bishop. All right, let's just get a queen. I think they all win. That's what I thought he would play. All right, so now if I take the bishop and he takes the rook and I take back, he plays king f2 and I have queen takes h1, and I don't think he has any tricks. He can't play knight f1. He can't. Well, yeah, if I take the bishop, he can't put anything on b1. He can't put anything on c1 after rook takes a1. So I think I should just take the bishop. Because if he takes the queen, I get both his rooks. I'm looking for, but when you see a good move, look for it. So my plan here is to give up the queen to get rid of a whole bunch of pieces. Can I do something better? Can I play queen d1 right away? No, because the bishop can go back. If I play queen d1, king d1, queen a1 check, he plays bishop b1, and the bishop to b1 saves the bishop. All right, let's just take the bishop. And there he moves out of the way. All right, so I'm saving the queen. And now I'm going to move the queen somewhere where it's fairly safe. Where should I go? If I go on the a file, he can skewer me, but I can still get two rooks for a queen. If I play queen a6, I'm threatening something, but he could play knight c4. If I play bishop d2, he has to take with the bishop. And then I have a queen check, but I'm not sure what that does. I'm not sure the bishop there is any good. I guess knight b3 is sort of a threat here to fork my queens. If I move the queen to the a5, queen a1 to a2, he plays rook a1. That hits the knight for the third time. Queen to a2. And then maybe I can play rook c8 and rook c2 or something. All right, that's what I'm going to play. Queen on 1 to a2. I don't get a chance to play with two queens very often. All right, so he takes there. He's not really threatening knight d6 check. I'll just take it. I can hit the other knight with bishop to b5. And he has trouble guarding it. Knight f6 check's not a threat. Knight d6 check, I can just take. I think bishop b5 works fine. Bishop b5, knight c3, I take it. I mean, he does have it guarded twice, but I'd love to trade everything off there. I think bishop b5 does the trick. I don't see anything wrong with it. All right, let's play bishop b5. And he plays bishop d2. Now I can check him and then move my other queen. Or I can check him with the queen first. Probably not. All right, so he's threatening knight d6 check in some lines. So I got to be a little careful here. What if I just castle? Then he plays knight f6 check, pawn takes, queen g4 check. I could castle queenside. Looks dangerous. If I castle kingside and he plays knight g5, I can play h6. If he plays knight f6 check, g takes f6, g takes f6. I think that's not good for him. How about if I play bishop e2 first, then still knight d6 check? Well, I think I can just castle. Let's castle. All right, he skewers the queens. I can play bishop takes d2, rook takes queen, queen takes. And I'm up a rook. Do I have anything better? If I take the rook and he takes my queen and I take back and he takes the bishop, I don't have any good moves there. How about if I play bishop c5 check? Then he just takes with a knight. How about if I play queen b6 check? He plays bishop e3 and both my queens are hit. So I think bishop d2 is the move. Bishop d2. Rook takes a2, queen takes a2. How about bishop to e2 first? Bishop to e2 first. If rook takes queen, then bishop takes queen. If queen takes, then I could play queen e3 check. Queen b6 check, and if he plays bishop e3, I can trade queens. Bishop takes e2. Queen takes e2. Queen b6 check. If he moves the king, I can play maybe queen to queen to d5 or something. Is that right? Maybe. Bishop e2, complicated. Rook takes a2, bishop takes h5, rook takes a5, bishop takes a5, bishop takes a5. And I'm up the exchange in the endgame. I should be able to do better than that. I should be able to win a whole rook then. Bishop takes d2. Rook takes a2, queen takes a2. If knight f6 check, g takes f6, queen g4 check. King h8, pawn takes. And I think I'm okay. I can play rook g8 maybe. All right, let's try it. Bishop takes d2. All right, that's what I thought. Play queen takes. Knight there, but that's not really threatening anything. I can trade everything off. I'm up a rook. I can play bishop to b5, threatening. Bishop takes d6. If he plays knight takes b4, a takes b4, I should be fine. Knight takes f7, not a threat. Do I have anything else? I think that's just the right idea. Let's go bishop to b5. All right, let's trade everything off. Trade, 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 trade. Okay, let's do it. Queen takes e2 check. Bishop takes e2. Bishop takes d6. All right, and now I'll just surround that pawn and win it. Rook to f to d8. f4. a5 to play rook a6. Pawn up. Not really threatening anything. I'll just take it. All right. Hit the pawn. He hits my pawn. Take with the rook. Make sure I don't get back rank mated. There's the threaded back rank mate. All right. Bring the king to the middle. King to f8. Excuse me. King a7. Start pushing the pawn. Push the pawn. Get the king out of the way. Push the pawn. Get it ready to bring the rook to b1. Ready to get that step ladder kind of mate. Rook on the 4th rank. As far away as possible. Okay, other rook over here. Okay. Check him to the 2nd rank. Take the pawn with that rook. Check him to the 1st rank. And now go as far away as possible. Far away as possible. I'm sure there's faster mates, but this is an easy pattern mate. Okay. So, did we do a lot of planning? Well, it got awfully tactical for planning there. So I would say I'll give myself a C- at best for planning, because once I saw that I could sack the piece and maybe threaten to get a queen, the plans went out the window, and what really happened was I had to figure out whether those things worked. Let's take a quick look and see if I had much better moves there. All right, let's open up the engine. Let's go back to the start. Let's examine. Oh, it's already going into examine mode. All right, so let's go back to where I sacrificed. Let's see, right here. Could he play d5, knight d5? Answer is, whoops, it's his move. Engine says no, after knight d4 I'm slightly better, that's his best move. Likes queen b6. After that move says I'm still good. Rook there, b4 best move. says there he should play knight d5, just not because it's good, but just because he doesn't have anything better. Queen a5 best move. I play knight there. The engine says I should just take the pawn discovered check and let him attack me. All right. So I played there, still winning. I take there, best move. He plays there. Knight takes b4, best move. Pawn takes, bishop takes. Knight d2, a2 of course. Bishop g2. Now it says I should play bishop takes d2 check. I get a queen, which it says is also very good. He takes. It says I should take the rook check first and then take on e4. I took there. It says that's just about as good. He plays there. I play there. Best move. Wow. Wouldn't have thought that. He takes the pawn. It says I should play bishop c6. I played bishop there. It says almost as good. Bishop d2. And is this where I said I'm going to castle? And I did. Castle. Best move. Wow, Dan. Very good. Rook there. Now I played bishop d2. Best move again. Wow. All right. I played for a 73-year-old. I played pretty well in the complications. Knight there. Now I played bishop b5. Says the best move is queen d5. Says, yeah, you're still up 7. Rook there. Now I could try to like play for mate or something, but I just said, let's go in the end game. End game. Bye-bye, Mr. Pawn. Back to +7. +8. And so on. Made in 13, made in 11. All right, thanks for watching. Please tell your friends about my channel, Dan Heisman Chess, here on YouTube. If you'd like to subscribe, you can. You could also like the video, but the best thing you can do is tell your friends about the channel. If you have any kind of improvement capability that you need, whether it's you need to get rid of quiescence errors, you need to evaluate better, whether you need to figure out what a sneaky pin is, whether you need to visualize better, analyze better. We've got videos on every single thing. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks.